Ms. Hany.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to first declare that I'm a practicing lawyer and serve as the chairperson of the Law Society's Pro Bono Services Community Legal Clinics Committee and as a member of the Law Society's Family Law Practice Committee. Notwithstanding that women's welfare, rights and development have progressed tremendously over the years, I believe that there is more that we as a community can do for the last, the lost and the least. The working mothers who struggle between providing for their families and in raising their children. The homemakers with dependents with no avenue of financial support. The women trapped in unhappy and abusive marriages, as well as those who experience harmful behavior online. All of them deserve the same opportunities for self-reliance and peace of mind, no matter the situation. For the purpose of today's speech, I will be focusing on enhancing support for 3 types of vulnerable groups: the victims of online harm, those who are feeling helpless as a result of broken marriage, and homemakers with dependents in low-income families who are in need of a stable source of income. As shared earlier by Mr. Zulkarnain Abdul Rahim, in conjunction with our PAP Women's Wing International Day celebrations this year, we have organized a series of law awareness talks centered on the issue of online harm. As a follow-up, together with Ms. Nadia Samdin, we launched an online toolkit to empower all of our PAP branch activists with useful information to assist victims who are facing online harms. During this period, we realized that many victims have chosen to suffer in silence, as they either felt embarrassed and or thought that there are no avenues, no recourse available to them, even if they were to report to the relevant authorities. This mentality worries me, as it must have been detrimental to their mental well-being. I share the same sentiment as Mr. Zulkarnain that more needs to be done to increase awareness, to win the trust of the victims, to open up and seek help. Apart from equipping more community volunteers with what was shared in the toolkit, I also hope that more of such law awareness talks can take place in our community. In this regard, the Sunlight Alliance for Actions can collaborate with the Law Society of Singapore to take the lead, inviting partners such as psychologists, police and social media companies to participate and share more on the recourse available to the victims. Apart from discussing topics such as voyeurism and cyberbullying, we should also venture into tips on combating online scams that many seniors and single women have fallen prey to lately. During the course of my practice as a matrimonial lawyer and in my time volunteering in legal clinics, I have come across many helpless women who have approached me to seek for legal advice. Many of them will often begin by sharing that they are contemplating a divorce but do not know if they should proceed to do so. Some of them had gotten married early, barely worked and accumulated any savings, whether personal or in CPF. Some may have once had a decent career but chose to give it up after giving birth, effectively sacrificed their independence and out of workforce for years to focus entirely on taking care of their family's well-being. Despite being unhappy in their marriages for years, some even suffering from domestic violence in the process, the thought of undergoing a divorce puts them in great fear. The possibility of losing the roof over their head, or self-doubt as to whether they will be able to bring up their children single-handedly. Some worry if the divorce proceedings becomes contentious, it may wear them out both financially and emotionally. At present, the Family Justice Courts, through the support of LSPBS, runs a regular legal clinic to provide preliminary advice to individuals, regardless of their gender and nationality, on their legal rights when filing or defending proceedings in the Family Justice Courts. I believe its effectiveness can be further enhanced by having a social worker participate in such sessions to assist those in need of other assistance, such as financial resources or employment opportunities, which are essential for divorcees, especially those homemakers and victims of domestic violence to regain their confidence post-divorce. This arrangement is currently on trial under the pilot collaborations between the LSPBS Community Legal Clinics collaboration with the Ang Mo Kio Family Service Centres, where the lawyers advise on legal matters and the FSC social workers assist to advise on welfare-related issues. Another most practical things that the court can actually do to ease parties' emotional turmoil is to make the court proceedings in the Family Justice Court less acrimonious and less strenuous. Currently, a spouse who has been subject to domestic violence and deprived of maintenance by her husband will have to file 2 applications under the IFAMS in order to seek for protections and recourse to support for her children, respectively. Should she wish to file for divorce thereafter, she or her lawyer will have to apply through another platform, e-litigation, through the Crimson Logic. Unfortunately, she may not be able to afford the fees for her lawyers to represent her in all 3 applications, as having to appear in different sets of mention dates, as well as the need to comply with the various sets of court directions, will result in heightened legal costs, keeping in mind the fact that she has yet to be paid the support in the first place by her husband. Furthermore, another enforcement court applications will also have to be made thereafter in the event her husband refuses to adhere to the maintenance order. Streamlining the filing process in the family justice courts and having a docket system of all of the applications involving the same parties will save parties both time and costs. I hope the MSF will work with the family justice courts to introduce a series of measures to improve the process of filing applications, such as the personal protection orders, as well as to enhance the enforcement of maintenance orders in the family justice courts. Some women, despite facing great financial constraints, have become homemakers out of necessity, as they have dependents that require constant care. There is more that we can do as a community to support these women. One inspiring example was shared by one of my Woodgrove's community partners, the Textile and Fashion Industry Training Centre, which currently runs the Alter Around project that aims to uplift the community of women who have either lost their jobs, retired, or are stay-at-home mothers who wish to make an income at home through an alteration skill. Trainees graduating from the programs are subsequently offered opportunities to set up their businesses and an online presence for clothes alteration services, along with sewing equipment that allows them to begin operations. Since 2020, it has successfully trained more than 100 individuals and onboarded 17 seamstresses. The Alter Around project is a small preview of what can be possible if more organizations are willing to come forward to collaborate with the community to empower homemakers with skills to be financially independent while having the flexibility to look after their families. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it is heartening to see that this white paper has taken in many of the recommendations that we, the Women's Wing, together with the Young PAP of the People's Action Party, put up last year, rallying the whole society to change the mindsets and advance women's developments. In this regard, I wish to take this opportunity to thank our PAP activists, community partners, as well as residents who have shared your personal experiences with me and continuing to participate in this meaningful journey with me to advance the cause of women's development. Mr. Speaker, I stand in support of the paper.